What's up, SnEaKyNation? SnEaKy-P here, back with all the news after week 4 in the preseason of our Washington Redskins franchise, where the Redskins lost a defensive battle in the rain to the Baltimore Ravens, falling to 0-4 in the preseason. Certainly not the start we wanted here, but ultimately preseason doesn't mean a whole lot. A lot of our starters were sitting on the bench for the majority of the games, and while it would have been great to get a win, ultimately we don't think it really shows us a whole lot about what this team has moving forward. We did miss some kicks though, and granted the elements were difficult. We saw both kickers struggling. However, do we need to make a move at kicker, man? I did see some young kickers available in free agency. Let's go ahead and look. Now, I will say, I do have to practice my kicking in all Madden. It's much more difficult this year. You don't really see the bar. So that's something I got to work on. But we got Dustin Hopkins. I mean, all throughout preseason, we saw him struggle. And maybe it's at least worth considering signing somebody else. It didn't look like he had the best accuracy there. He did have some power. But if we're looking at the kickers available to us, we got Young-Ho Koo. His accuracy is a little bit worse. He's also a younger kicker. Might be somebody worth considering. There are some rookies here. Nobody with very good accuracy. Patrick Murray's is okay. I think we're going to roll with it for now, but if he continues to struggle, it is something we are going to have to change. Let's go ahead and take a look at our stats in the preseason so we can see how everybody did. Kevin Hogan, 22 of 41, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Alex Smith, 15 of 28, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. It is so tough to throw the ball on all Madden, man. I am telling you, to get, especially to get into the end zone. I can go down the field pretty well, but the red zone defense is legit this year. And there's definitely going to be a learning curve. The struggle is going to be real early on, but as we get better, as our team gets better, hopefully we can start seeing better results there. Alex Smith did have more yards per attempt, which is good. We did get sacked too many times. We definitely need to see these guys step it up. But you know what? Preseason doesn't matter. Time to move on to the regular season. We'll see what they can do there. Running the ball, Chris Thompson, 3 yards a carry. Darius Geis, 2.3. Pirine with 11.5. Very small sample size, obviously. Robert Kelly, 7 carries, 12 yards, 1.7. So, again, not really what we want to see. We got to see our run game get a little more involved, and I do feel like that happened over the last 2 weeks a little bit more so once we adjusted sliders. But it might be something that we have to continue to mess around with. But for the time being, we'll keep it and see how it goes. Receiving the ball, Kelly out of the backfield, 7 catches, 25 yards. Jordan Reed, 6 for 61. Paul Richardson Jr., 6 for 75. Darius Geis, 5 for 27. Quick, 4 for 96. Sprinkle, 4 for 66. Davis, 3 for 44. Crowder, 2 for 28. Trey Quinn, 2 of 9. Doxson, 2 for 18. Thompson, 1 of 12. Davis, 1 of 5. So, interesting there. It's kind of spread out all over the board. Nobody really standing out. I know Paul Richardson had some killer catches, though, so that's something to keep an eye on. We did see a lot of yards from Brian Quick, but he did have that fumble that cost us as well. So, who gave up the most sacks? Christian, and he gave up all 3 in one game. We actually didn't have much of an issue that last week there, so maybe he improved in week 4, and it's not something we have to address right yet, but it is something to keep an eye on. Brandon not doing great there. Overall, we gave up too many sacks, but hopefully they can improve once the games start to count. Vigil leading the way with 20 tackles for us. Scandrick with 17, Foster with 10 sacks. We have a few players with 1. Moreau, Quentin Dunbar, McPhee, Basham, and McGee. Now, we just signed Basham, so to see him step up already is a good sign. McGee having 1 is nice. The worrisome thing here is, you know, it doesn't look like we got a lot of our sacks on the defensive line outside of those 2. In fact, our corners on corner blitzes had as much success as our defensive line guys. That is something that has got to change. Again, a lot of our guys not getting the most snaps here. We're trying to take that into consideration, but it's definitely something that is a little bit worrisome, I would say. Interceptions, 2 by Mason Foster, 1 by Moreau, 1 by Scandrick, 1 by Nicholson, and 1 by Swearinger. So we did do a good job getting interceptions there. Fumbles. No fumbles forced or recovered at all. So we might adjust that slider a little bit after 4 games. I'd like to see at least 1. I don't know why the kicking stats are being glitched out here. Clearly, we saw a lot of kicking and punting, but it's not showing there for some reason. Not sure why. Kick returns again. We ended up cutting the guy who was returning most of the preseason for us. So that is what we got. And time to go ahead and mess around with our depth chart. Actually, before we do that, let's look at the sliders a little bit. I might make it to where it's a little bit easier to get pressure on the quarterback for right now. We're just going to lower it by 2. We'll see how that goes. And then fumbles, I will lower by 2. I don't want to make any significant changes yet. Until I really see what's happening on full 15-minute quarters, which we're actually going to be going into starting week 1 of the regular season. But for the time being, let's give this a shot. Hopefully it works out, and we'll adjust it as we need to. But like I said, preseason, we do 8-minute quarters to get through the games a little bit quicker. Time to go to 15-minute quarters. It starts now, and we'll see how this team can hold up. But first, let's work on our depth chart. Here we go. We do have some injuries still. Definitely a concern. But obviously, Alex Smith is going to be the starting quarterback right now. Kevin Hogan will be backing him up. If somebody gets injured, we'll call up from the practice squad. At running back, you know, I don't know that Thompson would make a good every down back, but his speed was doing very well for us there. We could try to use him on 3rd down and use Geis as the every down back, who is obviously much better with strength and trucking, where Thompson's better in the receiving game, something we definitely want to utilize with Alex Smith, especially with how good all Madden defense is covering people down the field. We might roll with this from now, but we're definitely going to be looking to get Thompson involved. As I've seen so far, we have not gotten a trade offer for anybody. We'll see if that changes. Vernon Davis will be our fullback, I guess. Kelly is going to be the backup there. Obviously, Davis is the tight end. But in situations where we need somebody, we'll roll with him for now. Maybe we'll acquire somebody later on. Crowder at number 1 and Richardson at number 2. I do think we might throw Doxson here for now. And we might roll like this. So I'd like to get Trey Quinn some more snaps, but we didn't see a whole lot of them in preseason. He doesn't have the best speed, so I think for right now we'll roll with this. Another guy that, you know, obviously we kept him around, Robert Davis. He was on the verge of getting cut. We decided to take a chance with him. It'd be nice to get him some playing time, but we'll see what happens. While everybody's healthy, we're going to go in like this, I believe. Part of me kind of wants to move. Might do this. Richardson we saw a little bit more from. Crowder doesn't have size on that outside like I would like. Obviously, though, we're going to have that slot spot, so we'll look around. Jordan Reed going to be starting. Vernon Davis. I actually really like what we saw from Jeremy Sprinkle, though, so a guy to keep an eye on moving forward. Williams at left tackle. Moving on with Sean at left guard. Center, Chase. And then right guard, obviously, Brandon. We're good to go there. Right tackle, Christian filling in while Moses is hurt. Not a good week 3 in the preseason, but turned it around a little bit in week 4. Looked a little bit better. Ioannidis at left end. We have to see more from him, though. Didn't get a single sack during the preseason, so that's something we need from him. Jonathan Allen was good in the run game, but again, didn't really step up in the pass pressure. We did see him get a half a sack, but we have Basham there who stepped up, so it'll be interesting to see. This could end up being a battle. Maybe Basham gives us more production than what we were getting from Allen. We'll see. Deron Payne at defensive tackle. PJ Hall, who I like a lot, is going to be there. And then Phil Taylor Sr. Left outside linebacker, Kerrigan. We have Preston Smith there. Middle linebacker, Zach Brown and Vigil, who played pretty solid for us, I would say, overall. Not the best coverage that we saw, though. And then Pernell McPhee, although part of me kind of wants to get Smith some more time. Ryan Anderson's another guy to keep an eye on that I would like to get involved. But for now, I think we'll keep it with Pernell McPhee until we need to make a change. Josh Norman at corner. Quentin Dunbar, number 2. Scandrick, 3. I actually think we're going to move Fabian Moreau up here. I know Scandrick did get an interception as well, but Moreau had a pretty solid preseason for us, so I think we're going to throw him right there. We have Dawson. He didn't really show us much. I don't think he got a lot of playing time yet. We signed him late in preseason. Nicholson at free safety. At strong safety, sticking with Swearinger. Kicker, again, if Dustin Hopkins does not step it up, we're going to have to make a change there. But for the time, we'll keep him until we see what he can do in the regular season. Kick return and punt return, I think we're pretty good to go there. Tress Way will be kicking off for us. Brandon going to be the long snapper. Third down, running back Chris Thompson. I like that. Power back, obviously, got to be Darius Geist there. Slot receiver going to be Crowder. Kerrigan going there. Okay. Okay, that's fine. McPhee. Ooh, I wonder if this would be a good opportunity. Might throw Preston Smith here. Just to get him a little bit more time, some more snaps. Ioannidis sounds good. And then Zach Brown. Okay. Slot corner again. I think I would like to throw Fabian Moreau there. And then we got our practice squad. So we'll see if any of these guys can develop over the year. Maybe we'll pull somebody up if we need to. DJ Reed's a guy to keep an eye on. I actually like him. And he can play some safety for us as well. Obviously, St. Brown has some potential, man. 6'5", 90 speed. And then Kyle Allen as an emergency quarterback if something happens. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. On to the regular season we go. I am very excited about this franchise, guys. I know not everybody gets super into preseason, but week 1 is right around the corner, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate all of the support you guys have shown so far in this series. It has been amazing. And I will see you guys in week number 1, 15-minute quarters as the Washington Redskins take on the Arizona Cardinals. Later.